Anyway, so our humanizing legal education movement has gone forward, and one of the things we decided to do some years ago was to seek approval from the Association of American Law Schools for a new section that would capture what we were trying to do. And, we had many internal debates about what to call it. And my take was we shouldn't call it humanizing legal education section, because the implicit message to the other professors is, what do you mean? I've been dehumanizing my students? The hell with you. We're not going to win a lot of enemies over with that label. So my idea is we should call it the section on balance in legal education. Who could be against balance? And the implicit message is, well, maybe legal education is a bit out of balance, and let's examine that, and let's see how we can restore it to equilibrium in a certain sense, or a new equilibrium. And so we petitioned and got provisional approval for a new section on balance in legal education. Larry Krieger was our first chair, Michael Hunter Schwartz our second chair, and I'm delighted to serve as our third chair. And this year we've petitioned the ALS for permanent ALS section status, and I think we're going to get it. We started off with a series of meetings at each of the last few conferences. We probably had 30 or 40 people, then we had 100 people, and last year we had 195 people. There's a lot of interest in our message and what we're trying to do in legal education. We're holding a mirror up to our profession, and we're saying, let's take a hard look at it. Let's try to understand how we can improve. We need to challenge our traditions and our assumptions. We need to understand educational theory a bit better. We need to understand psychology a bit better. And it will only make our profession as legal educators a better one, and it will make for better lawyers. And that's really what we're all about. David and I are so delighted to see that the reception for our work has gone global in very important ways. Here we are, we're going to be at this conference in New York as part of the International Academy of Law and Mental Health, in which we're doing 5 days of therapeutic jurisprudence sessions, in which we have about 85 or 90 therapeutic jurisprudence speakers running along 21, I think it is, sessions, all sorts of creative applications. And they're people from a dozen different countries, from Australia and New Zealand and places in Europe and South America. It's just South Africa. It's just great to see the reception that our work has now received in these other places. And in fact, in Australia and New Zealand, there's even more of these problem-solving courts than we have here. The judges are all doing this. There's a tremendous interest in the work. There's actually an Australasian website for therapeutic jurisprudence that Michael King, a former judge in Australia who now teaches at the University of Monash Law School, has put up. I think it would be great to film some of the sessions in New York, because, imagine that we're going to have close to 90 speakers. And by the way, I'm getting a very big award from this conference. Not that this should be the reason for you to go, but they're giving me the International Association of Law and Mental Health's highest honor, the Pinel Award, named after a historic French psychiatrist. For my work in mental health law, apart from all of this, I of course write books and articles and have been, I think, a major force internationally and nationally on reforming the area of mental health law, as has David. I think, again, this is the area where therapeutic jurisprudence started, and we've both continued to write a bit in that area. I did a book in 2005 called Civil Commitment, a Therapeutic Jurisprudence Model, looking at the whole institution of civil commitment, how we involuntarily hospitalize people, and how to restructure that in ways that make it more therapeutic. And I did a book in 2003 that I co-edited on sex offenders in the law, looking at how we can apply the very strange laws we have in that area more therapeutically to provide more of an incentive for rehabilitation of offenders. I'm a yoga student and have been for probably 20 years. And I've got to say that's an important part of who I am and of my spirituality. I'm Jewish, but I never really was into the religion of it all that much. I respect its traditions, but I think in yoga I found a sense of spirituality. Yoga means union, and what it's really about is not so much exercise. When you first go to yoga class, you think, oh, I'm going to look good, and I'm going to get strong, and I'm going to lose weight, and I'm going to, get flexible. Yeah, it's about that, but it's about more than your body. It's about getting strong and flexible and balanced in your personality, in your mind, in your spirit. And that lesson is absorbed if you continue to do yoga class, and you realize that here you are, you're doing yoga with the others in the class, you're breathing together, you're doing these poses together. You and them are not separate. There is a union. We're all the same. We're all part of the human family. And that is the basic insight, I think, of spirituality, my basic insight, that we're all brothers and sisters, that we need to love one another. We're all part of this human community. And that's an important part of who we're about, and that does shape our values, or should shape our values. We want to be good people, not bad people in that sense. We want to contribute to the community. And as lawyers, we want to have balance. We want to have strength. We want to have flexibility, because those are all very good skills that come with being a good lawyer. And so I would say that although I don't always bring it into my classroom teaching, it informs that sense of spirituality, informs who I am, and informs, many of the values that I'm trying to bring about in my writing, in my law reform efforts, in my work with the Balance of Legal Education section, in my work with the judges, etc.